Welcome, doctors. If you're working in medical coding or just involved in the healthcare space, you know that compliance is a big deal. But today, we're diving into something even more crucial: how Pennsylvania enforces HIPAA in the medical coding process. It's not just about getting codes right, it's about making sure patient privacy is always protected. And trust me, Pennsylvania doesn't take that lightly. Now, we all know that HIPAA is essential for keeping patient information safe, but have you ever wondered how it's really enforced when it comes to medical coding here in Pennsylvania? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So, let's start with the basics. HIPAA isn't just some guideline you can choose to follow. It's the law, and it applies directly to every medical coding activity in Pennsylvania, whether you're on site or working remotely. Coders handle protected health information, PHI, all day long. That means when they're assigning codes, they're also responsible for securing that information at every step. Well, that's where audits, investigations, and reporting come into play. Whether it's a complaint from a patient or a random audit by a federal agency, Pennsylvania has a system in place to make sure everyone is following the rules. And remember, even though HIPAA is federally mandated, the state plays a huge role in keeping everything in check. Dr. Smith responds, "It's the law." And for medical coders, it's part of the job description. Dr. Joe finishes with, "Glad our team's up to date. I'd rather keep those fines in the news than in our mailbox." What HIPAA means in medical coding isn't just about assigning codes like ICD or CPT codes. Coders have access to sensitive patient records that fall under HIPAA's protection. This means they've got to follow strict guidelines on how they handle and store this information. They should be using secure, encrypted systems, restricting access to authorized users only, and avoiding sharing identifiable data without proper consent. In Pennsylvania, the enforcement of HIPAA goes beyond just a quick check. Local agencies, like the Department of Health, team up with federal authorities like the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, to investigate any complaints. The Pennsylvania Attorney General can get involved if there's been a data breach or unauthorized disclosure. They'll take action if a healthcare professional isn't playing by the rules. We've all heard of those small mistakes that can turn into big issues, right? Even something like failing to log out of the system can be considered a violation. These things may seem minor, but under HIPAA, they could lead to serious trouble. Healthcare facilities in Pennsylvania need to make sure that all their coding staff complete HIPAA training, both when they're hired and annually after that. It's also critical for coders to sign confidentiality agreements and follow strict internal protocols for handling and processing records. HIPAA violations can bring about fines. And that's not all, state-level penalties could add even more to the list. If a healthcare professional breaks the rules, they might even face suspension or lose their license altogether. So, it's clear, keeping compliant is the best way to protect your team and your practice. How can you make sure your team stays compliant? First, ensure you're using HIPAA-compliant technology. Systems should be encrypted, and access should be tightly controlled. All records should be transmitted securely, either through VPNs or approved platforms. Next, make sure you're training your staff properly. Onboarding is key, and you should include HIPAA-specific modules. And don't forget to include real-world coding examples so your team knows exactly what to avoid. Review coding workflows and access logs to spot any potential issues before they become big problems. Monitor for unauthorized access attempts, and ensure that your staff is following protocols consistently. As a doctor, it's vital to stay informed on these regulations to keep your practice compliant. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder: if you need support with healthcare outsourcing, Staffingly can help you navigate these processes seamlessly. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more insights on healthcare outsourcing and compliance. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
If you are looking for outsourcing services, schedule a demo today by visiting www.staffingly.com or emailing us at support@staffingly.com or call us on the number 1-800-489-5877.